Hey people, how you doing? My name is Art and welcome to a different kind of video today. Today I want to talk about a graphic novel I read. Now, before I show you what this graphic novel is, a very famous storyline that came out in 1985. I was what? 14, 15 years old when this came out. Okay? And I read that story, and I collected every issue of the story. Okay, I collected every issue of this story, and I was mesmerized. I was dumbfounded. I was engaged, enraged, and even in awe of the story. And the funny thing is that to me, this story was very pivotal in storytelling. And what story is it? Kraven's Last Hunt. Now, back in the day, in the 80s, there was three Spider-Man comic books. Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, and I believe Web of Spider-Man? Yeah, Web of Spider-Man. And this story went through, all six parts went through like two of each of those books. I have not read this story in over 20 years. And it's still riveting. When I read this when I went to get my tires changed, and even though I was there for like 3 hours. I was reading this, and except for me having to go like walk around a little bit because whatever, I could not put this book down. Look at this back cover of Kraven the Hunter. Now the thing about it, if you read the story before, you know how good it is. And believe me, there's a trigger warning in this book because of today's policies and today's viewpoints. They had to put a trigger warning. Okay? But let's just put it this way. I'll basically give you an overview of it. Kraven the Hunter has been a long time Spider-Man villain. And he's going through a conscious crisis. So, in his mind, I got to defeat Spider-Man, and I'll become him in order to conquer him. I will become him, and I'll become better than him. He captured Spider-Man, and from this, you see he was buried alive. He was buried alive in a state of like consciousness, but you couldn't move kind of thing, because Kraven knows a lot of herbs and stuff to paralyze you and stuff like that because he's a big game hunter. During the time he imitated himself as Spider-Man, he fought some goons and stuff, and he killed a person. And it was like, yeah. And when Peter Parker comes out, Spider-Man gets free. He's traumatized. You can see the trauma in his face, the trauma that he endured. The trauma he endured, it was just sheer trauma. And then he faces Kraven one last time. Vermin also makes an appearance in this Vermin. The best way I could describe Vermin, he's like a humanoid rat. Not like Splinter, but he's like that. And of course, he had to, defeat Vermin as well. And at the end, Kraven became no more. And like the funny thing is, I read comic books today, and half the time, I forget what I read. After an hour, I forgot what I read. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's these writers of today that doesn't know how, they know how to write, but they don't know how to write very well. Maybe that's it. Or maybe their idea of writing well is just putting out a story and hopefully it sticks. I don't know. But DeMontes and Zek, this story was in 85. And once you read it, you won't forget it. I haven't forgotten it. And I'm a Spider-Man fan. And this is one of the top 10 Spider-Man stories I've ever read, besides the Venom stuff. I mean, this is amazing. No pun intended. So, if you never read this story before, Kraven Last Hunt, just, I picked this up, I don't know where I picked this up. But this is like $15. Either I bought this for $5 or I paid $15. I don't know. But I must have had it for a while. Pick it up. It's a good read. And believe me, I recommend it. If you want to hear a good story that deals with psychological trauma, and it's a good twist on something like that, this is a good book to read. I recommend it. And hope you like this. And hopefully I'll be doing more of these little reviews like that in the future. Talk to you later.